Hi and welcome back to the MPI once again. Where did we get up to in the last episode? So a quick recap. We finished, or about 80% finished, the bulkhead. We have just got to make up some bits on the end. But I did say in the last episode that I wasn't going to do that until I got the dash rail in place. I wanted to keep a bit of rigidity there. And then I can sort of start test fitting the scuttle and things like that and seeing really where metal needs to be. Because after looking at the 89, this plate here is merely just tacked to the dash rail. It's not actually a full piece all the way around. So I'm obviously going to try and make the metal up where that's missing, but I want to see where the scuttle sort of wants to sit and things like that. So that is the aim of the game in this episode, but we really want to get the dash rail in place. So you can see the clamps all the way along there. I can't tell you how many times I've measured this, checked once again, measured the distance between the bottom dash rail and the top dash rail, cleaned up metal. It's all sort of prepped, ready to go. All my measurements, my 3 measurements across the screen to make sure the windscreen fits, all line up, bar the one on the far side. That's because I've left a bit extra material on the bulkhead, which I will just level flat with flap discs once I get the dash rail in. So, and then I should have my measurements back. Obviously, bear in mind I took these measurements with a rusty bulkhead. I took the best measurements I could. I have cross-referenced this on the 89 as well. So, you know, I don't think this changed over the years, because you pretty much got windscreen in most minis from each, across all the years, apart from you start getting into the earlier cars and stuff like that, and the rear screen's all different, and that's a different subject. But yeah, I think I'm closer with it. So I'll flip you on now and I'll show you where I'm up to with it. This episode I really want to get the dash rail fitted in place. It's a big step forward. If anyone remembers the first episode, if you haven't, go check it out, because you will see the state of this car at the beginning. It's not terminal, a lot of people would sort of get rid of it and move it on, but you can't buy this panel, the top repair for the bulkhead, so you had to make it, and it's going to be another late car saved and back on the road. So moving forward, that is the plan. Also, you will notice the A panels are gone. I'll also show you them as well when I walk around, and you sort of see the full extent of the damage. So starting on the top dash rail, you can obviously see I've cleaned it back there and it's protruding. This dash rail actually does need to come up to sit here, which is level, and it marks off with the bottom dash rail, so it sort of just clamps in place on the bulkhead for now. Just clamping it in place, I'm moving the car, and if anyone remembers some previous episodes, this was so thin and so flexible, this bulkhead, you could rock the bulkhead back and forth. So we're going in the right direction. All this is like a Genelite rust treatment, so it's just literally there to try and get rid of any rust, keep anything at bay. Now it's done its job. It's been a good few hours now. I'm obviously going to retro primer it and cover it, but I want to just obviously clean back this lip and get going with it. What I have done is, you can obviously see bare metal and stuff each end. I will sort of go back and etch prime everything. All along here has been etch primed on the inner face and on that face. So before I put in a piece on these end bits, I've obviously etch primed the ends. But obviously you need a really good clean thing. So we're going to try and use a spot welder all along here. So all this needs to be cleaned back. So A panel's off, and these are off as well, so you can sort of see this is all good and solid around there. It's just surface rust all the way down there, but we are going to get flitch panel repair that goes top to bottom and replaces this. The actual hinge panel itself is in very good condition, minor surface corrosion there, which will clean up when treatment. But yeah, we're going to replace basically the flitch panel, which is this all the way here, and obviously the outer skin of it. On the driver's side, same story, but we have a hole, so we're going to have to put a little plate in there before we put anything back together. But this side's just gone a lot further, so you can actually see the carpet or the underlay in there, and obviously again the inside there you can see is actually really good and solid. So we're going to replace the outer skin of it. I can actually physically break that away. The post on this side is a little bit worse for wear. I did actually make the exact same piece for the Budget Clubman, so we'll make another piece to go in there. Another part of it's surface rust, and there is actually some doorstep repairs and stuff in here, but the doorstep doesn't look too bad, so I don't think we're going to that. If that end turns into be anything worse once I got this off, then I do have the end cut off section that I didn't use on a previous project. So once again, the Budget Clubman, the gift that keeps on giving. And just to go back and check if anyone's tuning in for the first time, this area here is obviously marked. I've just not cut it, so all this corrosion will go as well. But yeah, we're getting there. So it's now a case of getting everything lined up. I've also repaired these inner bits in here, both sides that had holes in the pillar. So I just cleaned it all out, put a bit of copper to protect the wiring. There's a little tip for you guys, bit of copper in here to protect that and give me something to weld to. And now this is all solid in here, so we've actually got something to weld the dash rail to. But let's stop chatting, let's get on. Got a dash rail to fit. So you can see it's all ready to go. So you can see from that quick time lapse that I've started to get spot welds all the way along. I do love that machine, it makes life so much easier. So obviously going to keep going. All about keeping the metal clean, and obviously you can see points where I've got to clean it back again a little bit further, but the finish is so much nicer. I mean, you know, that's doesn't even need grinding or anything. And obviously we're going to have another panel up against that, so yeah, really happy with that. So I've managed to get one on the end here. Obviously the dash rail's now seam welded in. It's absolutely rock solid already, so let's carry on. Right guys, that is a wrap. I'm done for the day. It's been a long day of measuring, checking, measuring, checking, but we're there. So from here upwards measures upright, from the centre ridge upwards, and from the same the other side. I've got my measurements back. There's still a bit to be taken out really if I wanted to, because it's not quite level, if you know what I mean, but I'm not going to touch it now because we're going to readdress that when we get to the scuttle, see how the scuttle fits. But my measurements are back, that's the main thing. So it's seam welded both sides, and then you see me spot weld all the way along. I love that machine, it just leaves such a sort of great finish. So the next point of call is I'm waiting on some panels. We're going to sort this out next, both sides, then sort out these front inner wings, then we can look at scuttle, then we can look at wings, and then move forward. But we've got to rebuild from the bulkhead back, otherwise we have nothing. So I'm going to sort all this out. And yeah, not tidied any of this back yet, there's no point, it's just because the car sits outside that I've covered it up. But yeah, I'm happy with it. It's looking a lot better inside, and yeah, this car definitely, well, I didn't even, no, go back and check the first episode, it didn't have a scuttle, a dash rail, sorry. So yeah, it's got to be better than what we had, so we can work with it now. As long as I've got my measurements back, that's the main thing. Obviously my measurements were taken from what the remnants was, and then cross-reference on other cars, so it's another day. Right guys, that is the end of this episode, unfortunately. We've managed to get basically one panel in, but obviously that took a lot of time. I've probably been out here 6 hours at least at it, you know, like in between sort of stopping in bits and pieces for other bits. But yeah, I'm happy with it for now. My measurements are back, and that's what I was most feared, that I couldn't get my measurements back, and they're back. Obviously it looks really sort of exposed and stuff like right now, but once it's seam sealed underneath, the scuttle goes back on, you're never going to see any of it, and it's going to look really nice hopefully when it's done. But that's the first time for me to do any of this, so you know, you only learn somewhere. But I'm happy the car's solid, you know, I've not cut any corners with it, and you know, every day's a school day and all that. I really enjoy doing it because it's another thing now I can add to the list of things I can fix on a Mini. So if you ever buy a project, or you ever get a project and there's something that you're like, oh wow, I've never done that, I'm not buying it, don't bother, tackle it, learn it, and then you can move on to the next one. For me, it's time to go in and chill, but yeah, pretty happy at that. So catch you next one, guys, when we will hopefully be repairing these flitch panels and getting all that cut out. Moving on to the next stage really. We're not going to do any more until we can build the bulkhead forward. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Also go check our website for any stickers. We are adding some more there hopefully very soon, but they're selling pretty fast, so please go grab yourself one, guys. And yeah, catch you next one. Stay safe.